How are you?
What's good, Jordy? What's
Doing good,
good,
man.
T-Bob?
What's happening, Coach?
Boys look good on Saturday.
They play better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's a
Good.
coach's.
Yes.
It's a coach's honest
breakdown.
answer. Let's see. What did you think? How did you think the boys played?
Well, I thought the corners did a great job.
They did.
I think Corey Raymond is once again the man. He's working with Derek and Eli, and you can even include Cordell because he plays corner in just a base package. Then he moves to nickel in the nickel package. And those guys are doing what they have to do technique wise, and you can see from the plays that's being made with Eli with the start of his career type plays he's making, and everyone can keep saying that they're not going to throw the ball towards Derek. We're in the SEC. They're going to throw the ball his way, and he has some throws going his way as well. But for what Corey has done with those guys, you can tell that they're translating from the practice field to the game field.
Coach, you mentioned Eli making plays. Is Lil Sting? Is he salty at all that Eli got a pick six before Lil Sting did?
No, he was excited for him. You guys got to understand. These guys train together a lot during the off season. Now they're teammates, and one thing about Eli, he is an extremely hard worker. He wants to be great. I mean, everything that he does is all out. And he'll ask a lot of questions about why he's doing certain things and how he can make it work with his game, which is good. But you're seeing it now. You're seeing. It was at one practice I forget what it was, and I was congratulating him on his picks, and he just hugged me and said, "Coach, that's because of all the work that we've been doing all the off season." Nice. He said, "Man, you just don't know how much you're helping me out, so I appreciate it."
Damn. Yeah.
And, that's just good to hear a young kid say something like that.
For sure, absolutely. Give me your evaluation of 24. What have you thought about Junior through the first month?
I think he's steady. I hadn't seen any glaring mistakes from him. I know that, there was an issue about the Mizzou game, about the tackle that he kind of whiffed on, and I even got on him about it, saying, "Hey, man, you got to use the sideline. You took your wrong leverage." He said, "Hey, I was just trying to slow him down." I said, "I get it, but these are certain things that you have to do." And that was probably the only thing that I've seen within his game, because I thought that, on special teams as punt returner, the only times he really had a chance to return a punt was against Vanderbilt, and that looked great, awesome. Yeah. So I truly think that he is steady. I think that plays will come if he get more plays his way. I think most teams are kind of game planning against him differently than last year. I think last year they just went at him. Now it's almost like if you look at a lot of the routes that's being thrown at Derek, it's mostly like sideline routes, like back shoulders or comebacks or outs or things like that. They're not giving him anything up the field or at him.
Yeah.
So and you're seeing double moves, like even if you go back to the Missouri game, the flea flicker was done on Derek's side, but Derek was blitzing on that play.
Yeah.
So they were hoping that he would probably be in coverage. You look at the Vandy game when he got a penalty. We couldn't see it on the game film, but on a coach's tape, it's a double move. So they're not just saying we're just going to go right at you. They're saying we're going to make you, believe in what you're seeing, but then we're going to give you smoke and mirrors, and it's going to be something different.
I love Seth Williams, big wide receiver for Auburn. What do you anticipate with this match? I think this is going to be a great matchup.
Yeah, I mean he's big. He's a jumper, so they like to do the 50-50 balls with him.
That's the one he picked over his head last year, didn't he? He got an interception on him. Yeah.
Right before halftime. Yeah. And the thing about Seth is that he can body you up as well. Like he can get across your face real quick on some slant routes. But I think Derek is up for the challenge. I think that Derek understands his game. The good thing about it is that he's already played him before. So he gets an opportunity to now see someone that he's already played from last year. Because Derek's first games, the first three games, he hadn't seen these guys outside of, I think, Vanderbilt. They had a whole new wide receiving core. So this is the first time he gets to go up against the one that he went up against last year. So he kind of, he has some notes on him, some things that he can do to, take advantage of the situation.
Coach, you mentioned the corners playing well, and they absolutely have, and still, Ricks and Stingley remain maybe the best part of this defense. But what's going on with the safeties? It's just guys kind of getting lost. Big plays continue to happen, and it's not just the pass game. The run fits are a bit odd right now. From your defensive coaching mind, what do you say when you watch the safety group right now?
Well, outside of Jacoby, you got all new starters back there. You got new guys, and it's going to take some time because normally we would have those tune-up games with like a Northwestern or a Southeastern or something like that, to where you can get some of this out of the way early enough to where once you get into a play like SEC play, you're a step or two behind. It's 50, 40 yards or something like that. I think that these guys just have to, trust their teammates and understand that you just have to do your job. Because if you try to be like, let's say Jacoby, for instance, if you try to do like, hey, I'm gonna just shoot this gap, I know I can make this play. Well, last year we had a veteran defense. We had guys to where if he went inside, supposed to have been outside, that other player may have seen that and he jumped outside. So now we're kind of like, a new defense out there, a whole new coordinator. It's not the 4-3. I mean, it's not the 3-4. So sometimes the gap's responsibility is a little different. It's the 4-3. So if you don't trust your teammates, you're going to have certain things that's been happening going to continue to happen. Another thing is like we can't get any more 4 or 5 stars walking through the door at this time of the year. So now it's going to come down to just coaching. It's like, hey, I know it's the simple things. I know these are things that y'all should have learned in high school, but this is your pursuit angle. This is your gaps. This is where you have to be on the hash mark. I understand you want to show different looks, but this is where you need to be. You may have to walk and talk through those things just to get back to the basics of just simple alignment, and making sure that everybody's where they need to be. Bottom line is, I think that everybody is saying, oh, the defense is too hard or there's too much on the players. No, these are Division I Power 5 football players. They can understand it.
Yeah.
It's just that now you have to take the individual coaches, and those coaches, the individual coaches from each position group, just have to coach a little harder, because you can't just snap your finger and bring back a Grant Delpit. You can't bring back those guys who was, sometimes athleticism and just straight up 5-star players can save you if things are not going the way they should be going. So bottom line, I just think that it comes down to trust. It comes down to alignment. It comes down to, coaches. And then it comes down to players.
Yeah.
I mean, all of that. It's all equal shares of what has to get done in order for us to have a, perfect defense. Now, you're never going to have a perfect defense, but a better defense.
Yeah, and they showed some improvement in those areas, but that's very validating to hear you say that, because that was what the film revealed to me as well. Just a basic lack of trust between teammates that each guy is going to do their job. On the opposite side of the ball, Coach, obviously you went through this last year watching Derek as an 18-year-old really just flourish throughout the entire season. How about what you saw out of TJ Finley at quarterback at 18 years old? A 16-play, 75-yard drive, first ever drive in college.
Man, I was extremely impressed. And I know, I talk to his dad every now and again. I know his dad had to be extremely proud just as well, because I remember those feelings from last year. But you look at TJ, he has this sense of, I've been here before. And it kind of reminded me of Derek when I used to always say, hey, it's just business as usual. I'm prepared, so there's no panic in me. Just give me the ball, roll the ball out, and let's go. That's the kind of attitude that you see from TJ. And I think for him, the good thing was that he was able to do some of the bowl practices. So he's sitting in meeting rooms with Joe Burrow.
Yeah,
he's watching how Joe, approached the practice field or on game day and things like that. So that was good for him. Great lessons for him to learn from Joe. So that being said, I think the sky's the limit for TJ. The good thing about it is now we know we have another great quarterback, on the roster. Yeah. So, if Brennan is still the starter, great. But we know we still have someone in TJ, which is which is good for the team.
Brian Burgess inside of the Bayou Ford chat app. Got to love Coach Sting's honesty and frankness. This is always the best interview of the week. We agree. City Cafe brings it to you.
It.
Yes, sir. City Cafe. Find them on the corner of O'Neill and George O'Neill. CityCafeBR.net. Remember, boiled shrimp every single day and great lunch specials each business day. Coach, we always appreciate the time and the conversation. We'll talk to you next Tuesday.
Thanks, guys.
Yes, sir. There he is, Coach Stingley checking in this morning. We'll be back with more